Well, I figured we'd look at this one first. Just because it was at the top of the pile. And it's in the kitchen. I want to get the kitchen cleaned up first. Then we'll worry about the laundry room. I really like that little emblem there. That's really cool. It's kind of 3D. And yeah, these are the kind of disk drives that don't close until you stick a disk in. Anyways, we got the screws out. Oh, it has a hard drive. An IDE hard drive to boot. Wow. Let's see. It's an Epson model HMD 755. I'm not familiar with that. I was not expecting to see a hard drive. One thing I did notice on the back here, we got our mouse port, video composite, RGBI, and then we have jumpers or dip switches. And if I was looking at that right, because I'm at a weird angle now, they're set for monochrome. Yeah, they're all in the up position, and it's set for monochrome. What we want is color 80 for 80 columns, not 40. So 2 and 4 need to be down. There we go. You definitely do not want to plug a color monitor into a monochrome setup port. You can mess it up. 256 and then 64. So 256 is 512. And these are 464, so this is 128. So that's 640K. Not bad. That's standard for a XT class. And that is, you can't see it on the camera, but that is a 10 megahertz 8088. Got a couple of caps on the board, but they all look alright. Got that proprietary power connector there. This is the part where you hope the power supply doesn't go boom, because while you can use another power supply, you have to rewire it so that it will work on this motherboard. I don't see a clock. Do I see a clock? I see a daughter board. Look at that. Huh. Do I see a battery? Yes, there's a freaking battery right there. Damn it. I didn't know this model had a battery. I would have left it on the shelf. No, seriously. I would have left this on the shelf if I'd known this had a battery like that in it. Because if this motherboard is trashed because of that battery, what I paid for this is not worth the hard drive and the disk drives. Well, maybe. 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 If it works. But I've seen really trash motherboards work just fine with a bad battery, so let's swing it around and plug a monitor into it and see what happens. Alright, we got our keyboard plugged in. We got our CGA monitor plugged in, and we have power plugged in. Let's see if anything goes poof. Huh. What do you know? Commodore Electronics. It's got an onboard LPT1, which is the parallel port, COM port, mouse port, real-time clock, and is counting the RAM up to 640. No errors yet. And I don't hear the hard drive spinning up. The hard drive is not spinning up, and it's blinking the hard drive light. That loving tap. No. Hard disk not found. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. Let's give it a bigger tap. No. It's going to need a little more persuasion than that. But it wants to boot. Let's see if we can give it a boot disk. I have more disk over here. Do any of them say MS-DOS? No. Ooh. Ooh, we got two. We have two. Let's try that one first. I think it's going. Yeah, the hard drive lighted. It's angry. Starting MS-DOS. There it goes. I'll try the B drive. B-I-R-B. Up. The colon didn't. There it was. And there's drive B. Alright, so both disk drives are working. That's good. I suppose now we gotta take that, get this tray up and get that battery out of there. Okay. This is always the fun part. This is when you think, oh, I'm going to be testing computers all day long. No, and you get the first one that's got a battery that's got to come out. And a hard drive that needs looking after. Oh, the battery is right there. Which means... yeah, let's look at that. That screw there. Well, this screw, and then all the other screws are on the front. Which means this front faceplate has to come off to get to, see, there's another screw down there in order to get this tray out. This whole thing looks like it comes out together. Yeah, that screw and that screw will come out. Then the screws across the front. Yep. All to get the battery out of there. Yeesh. Okay. All the top screws are out. And then it looks like way down there you can see a plastic latch. And I believe if I pull out and lift up, yeah, there it goes. And the front faceplate comes right off. Oh, good. And none of the plastic hooks are broken. That's good to see that. Oh, and these are not labeled, are they? Are they? Can I disconnect them without fear of forgetting where they go? No, it says connector 594 and or 294 and 293. It doesn't tell me which one's the hard drive and which one's not. So we'll leave it connected. There we go. So now these screws need to come off, and then those two in the back, and this whole tray with the hard drive, disk drive, and power supply ought to just lift right out. Not a bad little design. Boy, this thing is made out of heavy steel too. Okay, I got all the screws out. I guess now I need to disconnect all the power. Oh no, the power. Just power to the motherboard. There we are. just push those in and it pops right up. Now, we should be able to... Yeah, that's pretty heavy. Yep, just lift it right up. Oh, we got our floppy and hard drive cable there. Well, that's going to be fun reconnecting that. Ooh, that floppy cable's stiff. Alright, let's try that again. I think I'm going to use two hands this time. Yep, lifted right off. Okay. Got a couple of jumpers, another ROM chip, and this, I guess that's the clock, and the infamous battery, the evil incarnation. Just snip, snip, and snip. Not as bad as some I've seen, but pretty nasty. Now, what did it do to the motherboard? Actually, not much. Just that capacitor. It kind of got on this chip here, but not really. Wow. I got lucked out this time. I have seen them where the battery acid just goes through the whole motherboard and just ruins the whole thing. I had a NCR that happened to. It just completely trashed the entire motherboard. You just get a toothbrush and brush that up. I'm gonna just spray some electronic cleaner on that. Yeah, it looks like it got into the traces, but there's really aren't any traces there except for the ground plane and the battery. That's it. Wow, really lucked out on this one. Usually I get them and they're completely trashed. I wonder what size cap that is. Is it 47 or 4.7? What did it say? 47 microfarads. I believe I have a whole bunch of those, but I'm not going to worry about it too much, not right now. Let's see. Here's our floppy disk drive controller. And on the that NCR computer, the battery was like next to the floppy controller. It completely ruined the floppy controller. The processor chip was right there too. It just destroyed everything. There's our Paradise, our graphics chip there. And and here's our graphics memory. Wow. I did not expect to see graphics memory. 80 nanoseconds? It's only 64K, but still 8250. That's our serial port. So that probably does the COM port and the mouse port. And then this is our parallel. And 3 whole expansion slots. Alright, well I guess we can put everything back in now. There, now that it looks more like a computer again. Let's take, I guess I could have threw this in the dishwasher. No, I don't want to lose that. I'll have to clean that. Clean that the old-fashioned way. But later. Let's take a look at this hard drive. It's just an IDE. Nothing too fancy. Got 4 screws holding it in. Well, unfortunately, this is not like the Seagate drives that the read and write spindle is accessible. This one is not. Sometimes you can turn the motor a little bit to break the heads free from the platters, and then the hard drive will work. This one, I don't think I can grab a hold of that. I will try. I'll try it, see what I can get to do. I really want to avoid and want to discourage people from opening these things up. If I just said right there, don't open it. Don't freaking open it. You let any dust in there and you'll mess up the hard drive. The heads will crash. There's all kinds of terrible things will happen. And it may not happen right away. And some hard drives are more durable than others. I really want to avoid it on something this small. This is a lot more delicate than a 5 1/4 inch full height hard drive. So I'm going to try to get something in there to break the heads free and see if we can't get this hard drive to spin up. Well, that didn't take much. I got it to turn. Alright. Now we gotta plug it back in and hope for the best. Gotta double check your cables. Make sure you didn't miss. Looks like I got it. Alright, and we can plug the power back into the motherboard. And hey, it spun up. No scan code from the keyboard because I left it unplugged. Our hard drive LED is not flashing. It's counting the memory. Let's go ahead and get the keyboard. Maybe it'll... Hard disk not found. Oh, that's not good. But I hear it running. Oh. Why is the hard disk not found? Control, Alt, Delete. Hello. I think the hard drive is spinning. Yeah? It's not complaining about the keyboard now. Huh. Hard disk not found. Yeah. We'll let it boot. We'll try F disk and see what we get. F disk. Don't complain about no hard drive. Right? Yep. The hard drive is not being detected. And I don't think this has a ROM setup. I just made it angry. I think the Emerson was Control Alt Escape. And no matter where you were, it would go into the BIOS setup. This one, I don't think has all that fancy stuff. Let's turn it off. I really can't tell if that was the fan or if the hard drive powered up. Let's try that again. I'm gonna put my hand on it. See if I can feel it. Yeah, it's spinning. You really shouldn't pick a hard drive up while it's spinning. It's very bad. Yeah, it's complaining about no hard disk. Let's give this hard drive a try. That should actually already have DOS 6 on it. Initialized. Contents and memories. Hard disk not found. Huh. This may be one of those mysteries. Maybe I do need a special setup disk to get this. Okay, that's the Commodore Colt. PC with the 8088 XT compatible computer. Both disk drives work, hard drive does not. Battery has been removed. Time for the next one.